Greetings, geeks, and welcome to Wizards, the podcast guide to comics. This is one of our new video segments, and we're going to be doing a couple of these every so often so we can have a little fun and actually talk to each other face to face over the internet, and as well as just, show you some of the cool things that we've got going on. So I'm Michael, and as soon as Adam joins us, he'll be Adam. There you are. Welcome.
Finally.
So I did a brief, greetings geeks kind of intro.
Okay.
I introduced myself, and our adoring fans and listeners know you as Adam, the maestro of our podcast. So basically, for everybody who's wondering what we're doing with these videos now, is we're trying to, add a little bit more content for you guys, some fun stuff to check out. And we put a survey out on Twitter the other day. Adam, do you want to explain what we did with this survey?
Well, we wanted to find out what everybody would really be interested in if we get into this YouTube space, right? Do you want us to pull random comics from our long boxes and show you what they're about? Do you want us to answer your questions? Do you want us to talk about action figures? That was definitely the number one choice, although a lot of people just said all. So you'll take whatever we'll give you. That's fine. We got more ideas.
But we got lots.
Action figures.
So we reached way back into our collection of action figures and toys and so on and so forth, and we decided to pull out one item that has been opened and one item that is still unopened and explain the stories behind them. So, do you want to go first or want me to go first?
I'll go first here since mine is probably the oldest of the bunch here.
Okay.
So obviously, both of us huge fans of the 1989 Batman film. Tim Burton brought us some magic, and I think all of us really felt that. But the magic really took root, I feel like, in the toy aisles. How many of us went from the theater directly to a Toys R Us or KB Toys? Yeah. And went to go pick up this guy. That's right. So we have the original Toy Biz Batman here. Wow. Now, many people know there were actually 3 different versions, right? So there was a square jaw version. There was this version, which is called the round face version, right? And then there was also the Michael Keaton version, which we all just said, oh, that looks more like Michael Keaton, just based on the jaw. I don't know how we decided that.
So can I tell you a funny story about this figure in particular?
Yes.
So in 1989, for those of you guys who remember this, when you got out of the theater, they handed you a flyer. And the flyer listed all of the action figures and so on. And so I can't believe you still have this thing. Unbelievable. So I said to my mother, I said, Mom, I need stuff off this list. So she got me the Batcave, the Batman, the Joker, and Bob the Goon and the Batwing for Christmas that year. Then somebody else got me the Toys R Us version of the same Batman. So I had both. And the interesting thing about the Batcave in particular was it had a boulder that just sat loose. Did you have the Batcave?
No, my cousin did, though. I played with it at his house.
So it had this boulder that sat loose, and I guess it was intended to fall on a bad guy and drop him into a pit or whatever. It was not exactly the most accurate thing to the Batcave in the movie, but it was the first thing you'd be like, I have a Batcave in my house, which was pretty amazing.
Yeah, well, the funniest thing about the Batcave, I'll just mention also, is that it had a bottomless pit.
Yes.
You could drop the bad guys down in, and it had a workout bar. They literally said it was for Batman to work out, which is hilarious.
It is hilarious.
My favorite thing about this figure is the back of the packaging, which showed a superpowers Kenner Batman just painted black.
Yeah.
And so this is not the figure you were getting on this side, right?
Yeah.
And so I love it too because in Brazil, I believe it was, Glasslight, they were a company that did a lot of action figures down in South America, and they created their Batman using the Kenner mold. So you could get that figure. It does exist. But yeah, for me, this was just like hours of fun with the belt, right? And and really, it's the gold box for me. I could just look at this all day, the stars up top, Toy Biz, as junky as their actual figure itself were, like they were fun. There was play value there, whatever you want to say about it.
So as I said, I had 2 of those, and I used the ratcheting belt so many times. One of the Batmen came apart, like the chest plate fell off, the arms fell out. It was all fell into pieces. And I don't know what happened to the other one years later, but I had it for years. I also have the Bat Cycle that was in the back of that box.
Yeah.
Somewhere down in my basement, but it's in the alcoves of my house at this point.
I eventually got a Batmobile at a garage sale, but it didn't have the missiles anymore, so.
So the bummer about that Batmobile was it was an open top. It didn't have the closed top. It wasn't until Batman Returns when they had the closed top Batmobile.
But it did come with the shell, right? The shield shell that you could put on top of it, or was that a second model?
I think that was a second. There was another model. The first initial one just was kind of almost like an amalgam of the Tim Burton Batmobile and an open top kind of like Adam West style Batmobile, or it was weird. And I didn't want it because I was like, this is not what a Batmobile looks like in the movie. I don't want that one.
Well, Michael, why don't you show us what you did want? What do you still have in the box?
Okay, what I do have in the box still, for fun, I set up a second camera, so I'm going to turn that on right now.
Look at this. This is fancy from Mr. Filmmaker. All right.
So this right here, I still have it in the sheath that you sent it to me. So, on a much earlier episode, we had talked about action figures, and I said that I had loved this figure of the Catwoman figure, and so basically, as you can see, Adam actually found it for me because I don't know what happened to my original, and still in the packaging has all of the figures in the back. And here's a unique thing. So as I started looking at this box, right, I looked at all the figures that I had. And now I've been in hot pursuit to reclaim them. And believe it or not, my 2 favorites in this whole thing of the Batman was the snow one that was meant to be for Mr. Freeze, even though Mr. Freeze was not in Batman Returns.
Yeah.
And the underwater deep dive one with the yellow suit. I love that one. And I've been watching them on eBay for a while, and I'm about like this close to pulling the trigger. And so this is one of my favorite things that I can't believe Adam actually found for me, but I am thrilled that I own it now. And I want to point out one very interesting thing. Can you see in the top corner what that says?
Ages 4 and up.
Do you really think this is for a 4-year-old? Like, we have young children. I don't think this is intended for a 4-year-old today. If this was rated now, it probably would have been like 6 and up, maybe 7 and up or so. But like, it's still in the packaging. I'm loving that I have it. It is on display in my house, and yeah, it is fantastic. So
yeah, looking good, Selena Kyle. Even if Brian Cunningham says you're not.
They know. What do you have out of the box?
What do I have out of the box? Now, this is the hardest thing, right? When you have a figure out of the box, you want to keep it complete, right? And that is a rare thing for 4 and up, for 6 and up, however old you are. But I have the Joker, okay, from the Toy Biz line, complete with everything. I got the cane.
With the squirting water thing? Wow.
I got the water squirter here. So it's all ready to go. Now, the other thing, Joker also had a variation right?
Mm-hmm.
So there was one that was just normal, like this,
Mm-hmm.
and then there was one that had these two spit curls that went on either side of his head. As a kid, for some reason, I ended up with two Jokers, so I had both. But this one now that I have complete is really, it's just a beautiful figure to look at overall, even though it's kind of stiff, right? You know, Joker can't do too much here. But the detail on it is pretty nice. And the fact that he came with a cane is a little bit strange because that wasn't like a feature of the character in the movie. But still, it's a good looking figure. I've always just enjoyed the colors of
So
it.
I have a funny story about this figure as well. So I had that one, but I also had the pink costume one as well.
Yeah, from the Dark Knight line by Kenner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that particular one, with the top hat, right? I used to put that on my Lex Luthor figure because
Because
I
it
thought
matched his suit.
it matched his suit exactly, and it kind of fit his head better. And as a kid, I was like, "Oh, his head must be cold because he's got no hair." Now, 30 plus years later, I have no hair and I wear a hat all the time, so it tracks.
That's awesome. Wow, I never would have imagined that. Yeah, trading hats with the villains, going back and forth.
So now I have a very, very interesting one that I'm going to share, and that it actually came out also with the Returns line.
Ooh,
Is this guy right here? So this
classic.
this is the Michael Keaton um, action figure that came in the custom coupe, and I still have the custom coupe for the most part. I lost the glass that came over it, and what was cool about this car was if you pulled it back, the
Whoa.
sides opened up and it had two rocket launchers on it, and it revealed the bat symbol. And the glass, when it folded open, it was shaped like a cowl. Like the was almost the
Yeah,
size
I
of it had
that
this,
shape.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so when you pulled it forward, this was kind of like the part I always found kind of funny about it was the cockpit seat has a Batman
Oh,
cowl as well.
yeah.
And so you click Bruce Wayne in here. I don't want to put him in there because this thing's in really bad condition, but this thing's in really good condition, so I don't want to scratch him. But when you'd ratchet it back, you'd reveal Batman, and his head would sit right in here, and the ears would fit right in the top of the seat. And so you could hide Bruce Wayne. But after a while, I just started like saying, you know what? I'm just going to keep Robin right here, and I would have Batman in the driver's seat all the time and drive it
Wow.
around like that. And so
I
that,
never knew that was the feature of that. I was literally just thought it was a car and you got
yeah,
a Bruce Wayne figure. That
yeah,
is
no,
so
it literally would convert into a Batmobile.
that's so cool.
Yeah.
Man, I love it.
So yeah, that's this is the Michael Keaton. You know, it's one of the few figures that I have from this era that is still in good condition. The only thing that's a little bit worn out is on his shirt with a little bit of a red Batman logo on it,
Uh-huh.
similarly to the black suit one, the black shirt one, but it just had the bat symbol. It was almost obscure that you wouldn't know it. It was kind of clever the way they did it. And this is one of my favorite figures I've had of all time. And what's funny about it is looking at it now in comparison to the way action figures are, this thing is so small in comparison to like the size of action figures today, which I thought was pretty funny. But yeah, if I knew where the glass was, I would show you because it's such a cool thing. And the rocket launchers, like I said, they would pop out. They had little grenades. You press buttons and they'd shoot missiles out. It was really cool.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
Man. Now here's the thing though, right? So we look at these and we're like, we have the sentimental value. But what was Wizard always about? What are your comics and collectibles worth, right? That's what Wizard was focused on. So in order to kind of explore that, I went first to the first issue of Toy Fair, all right? Because Toy Fair, right, when the Wizard was a comics price guide, and Toy Fair, they had an action figure price guide, okay? And so I figured, well, this is perfect. We'll just use this and it'll tell us what our figures were worth then and what they're worth now. So I get in here, Michael. Guess what is not listed anywhere? Toy Biz Batman figures. No. So your anything by Kenner, they put in there.
Really?
But the Toy Biz movie figures, even though the listing is Batman movie figures, it doesn't start with Toy Biz, and it doesn't appear anywhere. Then I went like to 1997, because this first issue was 96. I looked in 97, nothing. In 98, nothing. They never listed the Toy Biz Batman figures. So if somebody was an avid reader of Toy Biz, or Justin Acklin, if you're watching, Zach Oat, who we've interviewed, you guys were the head honchos at Toy Fair. What was up with that? Okay, I don't understand what was going on. So then I had to consult the last issue of Wizard, number 18, which featured a price guide, an action figure price guide, which they posted right there, and check our prices. All right, so we'll start here. If we look at this Batman, round face Toy Biz Batman, okay, from 1989, in 93, it was listed at $8. Okay. So according to Wizard, in 93, it was worth $8. Now, on eBay, just this past month, this sold in the realm of $35 to $40 for an on-card, basically mint condition. This one's in pretty good shape, actually, for its age. So it's good to know that's the case. Now, Michael, with your Catwoman, okay, in 1996, okay, in Toy Fair, it was worth $25.
Wow.
Back then, you know, and it was a few years out, you know, it was like 4 years later, and your Kenner Catwoman, you know, was worth $25. Nowadays, I'm sorry to report, Michael, going on eBay for about $6 to $8. So I didn't break the bank when I said that to you, but
I actually saw on eBay this and Robin together for like $14. I was like, oh, what a bummer. I don't care.
It's rough. Everybody wanted it. Everybody got it. It was on the shelves, right?
I almost might buy the Robin Catwoman one just so I can have that one out of the box and keep this one in the box.
There you go. Get some posing going on. All right, now my Joker in 1993, okay, with it was the Spit Curl one or the normal one, listed at about $8.
Wow.
Okay, but like I said, the difficult thing, right, is having all the accessories. Are you going to lose the hat? Are you going to lose the cane? I actually pulled this hat out from under my TV.
Wow.
It was under. I have a TV in my room. It was under there for a whole year.
I forgot it even had a cane. I remember the hat, but I forgot about the cane completely. So
yeah,
I wonder if they did the cane so they couldn't give him a gun.
That's probably true. He had to have some weapon.
Yeah.
He could squirt Batman, or he could whack him with his cane like an old man. Oh, there goes the hat. That's how easy you lose this. That is how easy it can go. So that being the case, nowadays, though, I couldn't even find a complete Joker for sale. On
Really?
eBay, like that sold, you know. So some of them had, like, you know, you had the squirt, some of them had the hat, some had both, but nobody had the cane involved here. So unless I'm imagining this, and there was no cane on this Joker, but I'm pretty sure on the back here, well, I don't know. In this picture, it doesn't show up with the cane. So if I'm crazy, but either way, just a mostly complete Joker was going for $11 to $15 loose.
That's pretty cheap, though. I mean, surprise for
But because I couldn't find one at all with everything, it tells me this would probably go for $20, $22, something like that. You get a little extra if you got all the pieces.
Sounds about right.
Now, your Bruce Wayne, your custom coupe Bruce Wayne, it was in good shape. You've tried to do your best with it, except for that little insignia here. So in 1996, they were saying it was worth, this is really interesting, $1.60 loose, which is that is sad. You know, it's just like, yeah, well, you took it out of the box. It's worthless. It's worthless, right? So nowadays, I'm happy to report, Michael, you can get one for $5 to $7.
Whoa, amazing! I actually saw the full custom coupe, like in the box. I think all in was about $60, like the complete. Which, you know, again, I'm not spending $60 on it because all I really care about at this point is this guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, to have the car in better condition, maybe someday if I'm feeling sassy, I might get it. But
gonna splurge one of these days.
Exactly.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We have so many more figures to show you guys. So this is just the beginning. And actually, if you guys have an idea for naming this segment, because we were kind of going back and forth, if you have a fun idea for what we should do as we introduce it every time and have a cool name, You could obviously find us on Twitter at Wizards Comics, on Instagram at Wizards_Comics, or just leave a comment below here on the video. We would love to get your opinion on what we should call this crazy time we have talking action figures. But we got a lot more video content to come. Won't just be action figures. So we're looking forward to talking with you more.
Yeah. And don't forget to check us out, on our podcast, as well as the Wizard Files episodes. We've got a lot of content coming. We've got some big plans even for 2021. That's going to be super exciting. We'll reveal coming soon. But until next time, don't forget to keep your books bagged and boarded. Thanks for watching, everybody.